Good afternoon. It's Friday, and it's cold and gray here, and not generally pleasant, but it's that part of the season where those things happen. And I have the feeling, increasingly, that Garland will never, ever bring a prosecution against Trump. He's innovative, but transparent, and coming up with devices to appear to be doing something when he's doing little or nothing at all. Okay, now some may think it's unfair. Hey, he's appointed this guy Jack Smith. He's just got to be, terrific. I mean, he's had all these other cases before. Yeah, well, Mueller had a great reputation, didn't he? And there are people over time who've had these reputations, and we presume because of what they did before, they're going to do it now, which is the failure of inductive reasoning. So let's consider how we have a special counsel and why. And what is the greatest defect in the notion that this is in any way a strive for independence? First of all, the rationale is, hey, Biden is running for president again. He said it. Whoa. And surprise, now that Trump has said he's running, we have two people running for office, and we are going to appear to be independent of the politics of this by having a special counsel. Okay. But the special counsel, anything he does, is subject to the approval of the Attorney General. Of course, my fear is that our Attorney General is prepared to do nothing rather than what I would hope Biden would want, or I would want, or most of America would want after Trump tried to overthrow the government and say he won an election he really lost. So, don't we have in the Department of Justice in place the ability to go forward like today? But we want to stretch this out, and then we're going to find problems along the way, and, things are just not going to happen, and judges are going to make decisions, and I don't know, some people in their 20s will have grandchildren before this case is decided. So, yes, I am down on this. I don't believe it. You can tug me around the room and tell me why, all the reasons why this is good. I don't believe any of them. I don't understand why somebody in America who is in the department, who's working on these investigations, isn't superior to any guy who calls himself a prosecutor who hasn't spent day one on this. And he's gonna do it quickly. How exactly is he going to do it quickly? Well, I'll tell you how I do it quickly. I go down to Georgia and I indict this guy, Trump, for what he did trying to get those votes. Bingo! How about unearthing a couple of those cases in which the statute of limitations hasn't run? Bingo! Tell me that the sequence of events with those electors isn't a separate case. Bingo! Do these cases have to be tried together? No. So I just mentioned 3 cases right now that we could put together in the next week and go forward. Are we going to do it? No, because that is not the program. And I would be glad to be proven wrong about this, even hit by a school bus. No, I'll pass on that, actually. So I would be glad to be proven wrong by this. But who is listening to this who thinks there'll be an indictment in a month? In 2 months, in 6 months, a year. And when the recommendation comes from the politically elusive Jack Smith, who is not registered in any party, that's got to be some sort of mental defect. I'm sorry, but how can you live in this society and not be of some party and persuasion, even if you are a dissenter within that group? But this guy, he's a virgin politically, and he's going to make a recommendation to whom? To Garland, who was appointed by one of the 2 presidential candidates. And Garland is then going to decide to endorse what Smith wants. So, this is a sad day. Some people are going to be out there saying, oh, this is great, now we're really launched. I don't know who these people are. Apologists for the Justice Department, true believers, true deceptors. Starry-eyed. One of the things I keep seeing throughout the period of time when Trump has been hurting us, compromising us in every way, is the notion that put in a name. Great man, nothing wrong with him, he'd be terrific. And in the bargain, they overlook something that the person has done. Now, Sartre said, we are potentially nothing. We are only what we've done. In other words, actions define us, not the music by which we style ourselves to say we are this or that or the other thing. And that's fine as intention, but it's not the same thing as effect, action. If you want to find an example of the government inaction being one word, it's Garland. And everybody who sat in that room, I'd like to have a panel of these guys tell me if there wasn't some discussion of how they could kick the can down the road. Unfortunately, there is the possibility Trump will be president, and then he will fire the Attorney General, which should happen now, and put in place someone who will dismantle the entire investigation and prosecution of him, and he'll sprinkle pardons around the room so that he can continue to build the autocracy that we interrupted when he tried to overthrow the government. So that's my thinking today. Could I say something better than this? No, I couldn't. And the depression among people who think this government knows what it's doing is growing. And we the people, we're going to be hard-pressed to lift up the soul of the nation that Biden said brought him to office, so that we can protect the democracy that's more in danger today than it was before the midterms. So, there we are. I am here in my cathedral of trees, which are so dependable, and they mean so much more than all these cockamamie politicians that do nothing. All the best. Bye-bye.